Today I will show you how to fill a room with water, or at least half of the room with water. So let's start. Hi guys, my name is Nemanja Sekulic and welcome to another fun episode. Today I will show you how to submerge part of the room, any kind of room, in water and have this really nice, interesting and fun effect. So let's jump straight into Photoshop and let's have fun. Alright guys, for today's episode we will use this image of a soldier standing inside of an airplane or helicopter, I don't know what it is, and we will submerge part of this room in the water. So first thing what we want to do is to choose a portion of an image of a room that will be underwater, and for that I will use rectangular marquee tool and just choose part of this part of the image. And okay, I'm pretty satisfied with the selection, and now I will go and choose hue and saturation adjustment layer and just click colorize, because I want to colorize this part of the room into some watercolor, maybe something like so, and make it brighter, something like so. It's really nice. All right, for now it's like this. We can always change that because we can always go here and tweak some sliders. All right, the next thing what we want to do here is to choose the part that will be our water surface. So I will again use the rectangular marquee tool and I will just go here and choose some part that will be the water surface, maybe this part. If you want to move the selection, just press and hold spacebar and move it. All right, I want maybe this part, let me see. It's pretty good. Okay, and now for that I will go and choose solid color adjustment layer, and of course choose some nice color like this maybe. Of course we can always go and tweak this too. Okay, so the next step is, let me see if this is okay. Yes, this is okay. The next step will be to submerge this guy into the water to have impression that he's actually standing in the water. Now it's like some line, it's across this guy, and that's it. So for that I will just put this let's name this water surface. Put this water surface layer into a group by pressing Ctrl or Command G on a Mac, and we can make a group. Actually I will rename this group to water surface. Okay, and I will put a mask on this group so that I can mask part of this guy here into the water. Let's use 100% opacity brush, like so. But I want to first select the part of this guy to have a little bit better mask. So I will hide this group and go here, use quick selection tool and just select part of this guy, for example this part, and deselect by holding Alt or Option key, deselect this part that I don't want. So let's go back to water surface group and go here and just make some nice. You don't need to create a straight line because you want to add some three-dimensionality here and something like so. Let's deselect it now and fix some parts here like this and like this. Let me see, maybe I want this to be above the water, like so. It's really nice. Now we already have an impression that he is actually standing inside the water. And what are we missing here is the water surface. So now let me show you two interesting ways how you can create some water surface texture. First, it's by just going and creating a new layer here and go to the filter. Make sure that you have black and white colors as default colors here, and go to the filter and render and then clouds, like so. And now we have some interesting clouds. This is because we have a mask here. Don't worry about that. Okay, we have interesting clouds, and we can press Ctrl Command F a few times until we have some shape that it's maybe better than default, maybe like this. Alright, and now we need to press Ctrl or Command T and just make those clouds something like this shape, okay? And press Enter when you're finished. So now we have really nice clouds here, and they're affected. They're affecting only the water surface here. Let's make it bigger. Let me show and clip it to this layer. So now those clouds affect only this layer here. And we can now put this layer into multiply blending mode and lower the opacity of that. And we have really nice water surface here. Or we can even go to this water surface layer and maybe, let me see, okay, and just lower the opacity of that just to have some transparent water surface. That's really, really nice. All right, that's one way how you can do it. The other way, it's if you already have some water surface texture and just copy the part of that texture and go back to an image, paste it right here and put it, make it black and white with Control Shift U or Command Shift U on the Mac. And maybe we can even add some contrast here, like so, just by with the levels, and put this into multiply blending mode. And of course, now we can add a curves adjustment layer here to this surface and make this even brighter, like this. It's really, really nice effect. Of course, we can add a mask here. I already have a mask, but we can paint, for example, with really soft brush, 20% opacity to those edges, because the main light is from above and this part I want to be darker and the center part a little bit brighter, like so. Of course, you have a lot of opportunity to tweak this to have fun with this effect. All right, that's one way how we can, actually two ways how we can add a surface on this water. We can combine those two if we want. We can add both textures, maybe like this, and so on and so on. You can be really creative. All right, so this is our water surface. And here I want to put this in a group actually, because we will put some things below the water, and put this layer on the group and name this group underwater. Okay, like so. And now I want to add some bubbles here underwater, just to have even better impression that this is underwater part. So for that, we will find some bubbles, like in this image right here. And I will just choose the portion of this image that contains those bubbles and go back here and paste it. Of course, this is now too big, and let's make it smaller, like so. And let me see. This is really, really nice. So I will make it like this and maybe shrink it. Let me see. Yeah, not bad at all. All right, but now we have layer covered our soldier here, and we don't want that. We only want those tiny bubbles, and we will not use any kind of selection tool to select only the bubbles. We will use another trick. If we put this layer into one of those blending modes, we will have what we need, and that will be the lighten blending mode, because lighten blending mode actually compare two layers, the one that it's in lighten blending mode and the layer below him, and it will only show parts of the layer that are actually brighter than the layer that it's down below. So if we put this layer into lighten blending mode, like so, into lighten blending mode, it will show only the parts of that layer that are brighter than the parts of our background layer. Okay, and because those bubbles are a lot brighter than this part of background layer, we can see bubbles and some other bluish tint, but we will fix that really, really easily. Let's just rename this to bubbles. Okay. Okay, bubbles. And now I want to add curves adjustment layer just to affect this bubbles layer. Why? Because if I make this bubbles layer a little bit darker, and I will have only those nice bubbles here, because those parts, it's the brightest part on this layer, and it will only show that parts in lighten blending mode. So we need to fix this bluish tint. To fix that, it's really easy fix. Just go to add a hue saturation adjustment layer and just find color that suits best, like this maybe. Okay, and that's really nice. Let me see, maybe a little less of saturation, something like so, and that's really nice. All right, the next thing what I like to do here is to add that divider line between the surface and the water here. And for that, I will go right here and add a new layer, and then use again marquee tool and just choose part of this image to be aligned like so. And then actually I don't need this layer, but never mind. Now I'll use a solid color layer and maybe a little bit darker. And this is our divider line. And now we can blur this line a little bit by going to the mask of that line, double click on that and just feather this a little bit. Now we have really nice effect. We have blurred this line, but I want to add some texture to this line. So how to do that? We will use the same trick like we did with the water texture. We will create some clouds. But before that, I want to put this in a group, and I will call this D for a divider. All right. And here in this group, I will add a new layer. I will go to filter, render, and clouds. Let's randomize it a little bit like so. And then with Control Command T, make it smaller, maybe like this, right? And now let's clip it to this layer. That's really nice. Let's go here, put it in the multiply blending mode, and that's really nice. But I want to try something out. Maybe go to the blur and motion blur. Here it is. And yeah, that's really nice without motion blur. With motion blur, that's really what I like. And now I can move this a little bit up and down if I want to change the position of this. This is what I prefer, right? And we can of course make this line brighter, or actually make this brighter if we want. Brighter and saturated, like so, and play with that. Of course, you can always go back and tweak this. Okay, that's really nice. We are almost finished. We can always add a lot of more things here. You can add some fishes underwater, some, I don't know, some underwater flowers or anything like that, and to have even better effect. But I want to add a little bit of shadow here below the soldier. Okay, it will be on our water surface here, and just go here, name this layer shadow. Okay, and just use black brush, maybe 10% opacity or so, and just maybe 20. That's a little bit too low, and just build a shadow here, like so. The shadow from an arm, and like this, and that's really nice touch here. Maybe this shadow it's too bright, too dark. I will just go and like this, mask it. That's really nice. I really like this effect. I just want to add a little bit more shadow here. Okay, like here. And that's really nice. Of course, you can use some images of maybe some water splashes, find some images online of water splashing the rocks, and add a little bit really gentle splashes right here. Or you can use maybe new layer and use white brush, put it in the solo blending mode, 20 or even 10% opacity here, whoops, 10% opacity, and just slowly place these crazy dots around him, like so. Okay, and maybe blur this with Gaussian blur. Okay, just a touch, not too much. Just a touch, not too much. We can rhyme. All right, And this is really nice maybe result. You can always add even more here at the top of everything if you want, like so, like this, and blur this if you want, and you'll have that kind of effect. But that's personal preference. Let's move this a little bit more down, like so. All right, that's a touch if you are interested in that. Okay, and let me show you one more thing that you can do with this divider line. You can go and put another texture in it. Actually, I will use this texture here, but I will use the upper part of it, only maybe this, and go back and paste it right here, clip it to this layer, and we have really nice result here. And of course, I want to clip this and just find proper color for it, like so. Let's move this out of the way, like so. It's not bad. Maybe make this a little bit smaller because now it's huge. Let me see. Oops. Let's go to the other way, like so. And let's see, just I want those tiny textures here. Right, something like so, and we can now lower the opacity of that, even add a mask and just erase with a normal blending mode. Don't forget to move it back to normal blending mode, just erase some parts that are not so much interesting. All right, and maybe go back and add a little bit of saturation in it, and that's really nice. All right, and you can blur these edges underwater, especially the this bottom part. If you want, you can go down below to underwater, add a new layer, for example curves, make it darker, put it in a luminosity blending mode because we don't want to affect the saturation of it, and invert the mask with Control or Command I, and just with the white color, just go gently add more darkness here. And actually I want this part to be bright because it's light is from the top, and this part can be a little bit better of a water surface here. We can add some curves to water surface and add a little bit more contrast here, like so. And of course I will put this in a luminosity blending mode and add even more contrast like this, and clip it like so. Let me see. I don't want to clip it to this layer, I want to clip it to this layer, like so. Yes, and add a little bit more contrast to that. Or if we put it in the normal blending mode, it's too much saturation, but you can then go and add here a saturation adjustment layer and deal with that. So let's go back to luminosity blending mode, and that's basically it. Of course, what you can do here is group everything together, merge everything together with Shift Control Alt E, and then go to the filter, maybe camera raw, and play with the global adjustments. We can make more bluish, more contrast, maybe to open some shadows, and like this, maybe to add some curves, go to split toning, maybe add even more bluish to shadows, and maybe add some yellowish orange tint to highlights to have some split toning effect. Let me see, like so. If you want to haze it a little bit, maybe, and add a little bit amount of vignette, then maybe to sharpen this a little bit, and basically that's it. Let me show you before and after. You can do a lot other tricks here. Let me show you another one before this, and we will finish for today. You can always tweak image so much. So we can add a little bit an effect here to this water surface part, and I will just duplicate the background layer, put it right here in this water surface layer. Okay, and I need to find a mask. I will use this mask, okay, and put it by holding Alt or Option key, just duplicate and put it right here. So I have a mask for this. Okay, and I need to put this below this layer. That's really nice. So now I have this layer separate. And I want to make this part of the background that it's underwater here, under the water surface part. I want to go distort it a little bit, maybe zigzag. Let me see. Let me see here. Maybe to add some ripples here. Why not? Just a little bit. Like so, maybe. And now it's yeah. Now if we go and see the mask, we can see that we did the effect with the mask too, because I didn't uncheck this chain icon between the mask and the layer. So let's go again and press Ctrl F to repeat the effect, maybe one more time, and you can see now that that part of the background is a little bit zigzagged. It's like that effect that you see when you see through the water. All right, and that's basically it. Let me just go here and show before, whoops, and after, and let's go here. Okay, before and after, before and after. And of course you can use absolutely the same method, the same effect to add any room, to add this effect to any room, to flood any room with the water. Okay, and let me show you, just if you use another image, this one, and just move it right here, and let's go and check all those layers back, like so, and we have unchecked this part. Okay, and now we can, instead of this layer here, we can add that room, make it smaller. Okay, not so small, but change the size. Right, and now we have this room flooded with the same effect. Of course, we have some things from here, and some shadows, etc., and this effect, and then one more effect here. Where it is? It's somewhere here. I don't know. I cannot find it, but you got a point. It's here. And now we have this room flooded with water, but then we need to go with this water surface layer and tweak it a little bit, change the perspective of it, because now it's a different perspective, and now we can move it up and put it somewhere here, and it's even better. Now we have this room flooded with the water. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope that you liked this tutorial and that you learned some new things today. You can use completely the same method to flood any kind of room, to fill any kind of room with water, and have really a lot of fun changing some things, making some interesting photo manipulations. So practice, experiment, have fun, and create your own masterpiece. If you have any questions at all regarding to this episode, please leave them in the comments below. I will be glad to answer them. See you next week in the next fun episode. Bye bye.